and welcome to the show. I am your host, Suzanne Monk, host of the all-original live Periscope Caps. How the Cubs doing? Ron, they're doing good? Yep, it's exciting here in Chicago. I'm a Sox fan, so it's less exciting for me, but very, very exciting for the city of Chicago. So, you got your phone, you got the TV, you're hooked up. You got everything you need. Let's talk about the news. I want to start with this. Awesome, Sox fan too. I want to start with this. Everybody has been I've heard a lot of buzz on the Trump train that Trump isn't doing good in the polls. Trump isn't doing good in the polls. Let's talk about those polls, shall we? Recent poll that has Hillary Clinton up 11 points, an NBC poll. Interesting information we just got about this poll. The poll was actually was paid for by Hillary Clinton's super PAC. And the person who ran the poll, who runs the polling company, actually works for the Hillary Clinton campaign. What? Are you telling me that the polls that have Hillary Clinton up 11 points were actually made by someone who works for her campaign? Yes. Yes, that's what I'm telling you. No, that's not, that is actually, see, you're already with the dumb things to say. It's already with the dumb things to say. It's not a liberal bias. It's a liberal bias when your campaign manager, when your campaign worker, when the person who works on your campaign does the poll for you. Yes, that's bias. Not a poll to be believed. Not to mention they used a 500-person study. They skewed the Democrats higher than the national division. And additional to that, they roll over any independent voters into who they think won, which is then Hillary. This is what happened. And then we go to the RCP averages. The average goes up for Hillary somehow with these skewed polls. Interestingly enough, the average did not include the Rasmussen poll that had Trump up. Why? Why? Yeah, you're an idiot. Why? Yeah, it's huge, but Ron, it's a huge case. So I want everybody to just take a deep breath. I think we should occupy Congress. I want everybody to take a deep breath on these polls, okay? The polls are not going to reflect what is happening in the electorate. The polls are not going to reflect the fact that Donald Trump packs stadiums while Hillary can't fill a high school gym. They're not going to share that. Why? Because the establishment and the elites don't want Trump to win. They want the gravy train to continue. 100%. So I want everyone to calm down about all these polls. Stop freaking out about the polls. The polls don't count the silent majority. They don't count new voters. They don't count voters that have switched over from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party, which number in the millions. They also do not count a phenomenon called the reverse Bradley effect. Bradley effect is when people say they're going to do something and they don't do it. The reverse Bradley effect would be when someone is polled and they say they're not going to do something, I'm not going to vote for Trump, and then they actually will, which is actually going to be a very high number. The study they did show that it changes the poll by about 6 or 7%. So, we have a republic. And it's a representative republic. And so, I don't know what you think you're talking about. Let's talk a little bit about the GOP divide. Oh, yeah, she's losing. Hillary, we'll talk about that for a second, since you brought it up. Hillary Clinton is doing very bad with millennials, very bad with the young vote. And she's having a hard time at her own rallies because for some reason, all of these protesters keep coming up with Bill Clinton is a rapist signs and Bill Clinton is a rapist shirts and interrupting her rallies. Young gentleman, African-American Trump supporter, showed up at her recent rally and was thrown out. And she actually told everybody that they should follow him. Is Hillary inciting violence at her rallies? Maybe. Maybe. So, we will see about that. Now, additionally, this isn't the only place that they're messing up rallies. Obama held a rally for Hillary Clinton, was interrupted more than 5 times by individuals standing up and informing everyone that Bill Clinton is a rapist. He actually at one point had to, and had to interrupt himself and suggested that maybe you should go get your own rally and stop messing up other people's rallies. Yeah, that's what Barack Obama said. You should go get another rally and stop messing up other people's rallies. Now, let me just say, okay? Considering the fact that my Trump rally got completely messed up by Obama backing brown shirts, karma's a bitch, Obama. Yeah, keep it up, everybody. For all of you, Bill Clinton is a rapist, protest team, 2 thumbs up for me. Keep that up. It is demonstrating that we have a huge amount of energy on our side. We're not going to take this lying down. We're going to get the facts out there no matter what it takes. I'm so proud of him. So proud of and you know, I don't always agree with everything Alex Jones says, but I greatly appreciate him pushing this issue. Because I think it's a valid, vitally important issue. Hillary Clinton wants to bring Bill Clinton into the White House to help with the economy. She said that herself. I don't want another rape. I don't want a rapist in the White House. I don't want women raped again in the White House. So, it's very important. We don't do that. Now, let's talk about this GOP divide, okay? Let's talk about Paul Ryan and his little coming out. He can't support Trump. You know why he can't support Trump? Paul Ryan may actually have been involved in the leak, the Access Hollywood leak that we have been dealing with this whole time. Pussygate may have actually stemmed from Ryan and the other establishment politicians, the Bush family, etc. Now, Paul Ryan, as we all know, did a horrible job. They can't prevent Obama from passing a budget. A hugely bloated budget with everything Obama wants in it. Everything. Boom, 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 boom. We know for a fact during the primary, Wisconsin had huge electoral fraud problems that they used to try to elect Cruz. We know that. It's Ryan. That's all Ryan's state. Oh, that's so sweet. It wouldn't have come from Paul Ryan. He's not that kind of person. Wrong. That's wrong. He is an establishment operative. Anybody who thinks Paul Ryan is anything but an establishment operative has not been paying attention to his record. He has never grabbed this. We're not even a question and answer, so I'm going to just take this right here. We're going to put that right here. Oh, bye, Felicia. We're not talking about question and answer. We'll talk about that in a minute, and I'll tell you the fact that Donald Trump doesn't grab people in the pussy. That would be Bill Clinton, the rapist. And y'all don't know the difference between locker room talk and rape, but you should learn. You lefties really need to learn. Absolutely, absolutely ridiculous. So you guys, Trump came out, he tweeted about Paul Ryan and has continued to tweet, and he is going to continue to tweet. And everyone's going to get on him. You need the Republicans. You need the Republicans. Let me explain something to you. Okay? We didn't win this primary with the Republicans. We won the primary against the Republicans. We were fought by every establishment politician, including Paul Ryan. Every establishment politician, tooth and nail. So we didn't win this with the Republicans. And frankly, they don't want us to win. They want, we'll talk about that in a second. They want their establishment to win. In fact, their whole plan is to let Trump lose so that they can try to win back in 2020. But by then, the Supreme Court will already have been packed with judges that skew the court left for more than a generation. So it's treasonous to their party, at the very least, to not support the Republican nominee. But they don't want to. The reason they don't want to do that is they don't want to break up the gravy train. They know Hillary will continue to do the pay for play, all of it, because that's her way. She'll let everybody else do it below her because that's what she wants to do. So it's going to just keep being business as usual, and that's what they're very happy to do. Paul Ryan was if we recall, hand selected by the establishment for this role. The establishment begged Paul Ryan to take this job. So don't tell me about Paul Ryan is such a noble guy who is just doing it because he believes in his country. The biggest load of crap I ever heard. John McCain the same way. Now, here's the thing about John McCain. Let's talk about John McCain, okay? Donald Trump endorsed John McCain in the primary when he didn't have to, because certainly John McCain's running mate was a much better candidate. But for the sake of party unity, Donald Trump endorsed John McCain. What did John McCain do? Immediately stabs Trump back in the back. Right in the back. Oh, I can't possibly endorse someone, so let Hillary Clinton win. John McCain. Seriously? You want Hillary Clinton to win? After what you went through in war, you want to put our men and women in uniform under the control of Hillary Clinton, someone who sold weapons to ISIS, someone who illegally destabilized several countries through her Secretary of State policies and operations to empower rebel forces, which oddly all turned out to be radical Islam. And John McCain wants to put your sons and daughters who serve under the care of this woman who gets 600 calls from Ambassador Stevens that he needs help, he needs defense, ignores them all. This is who you want to put in charge of the lives of our men and women in uniform. No. So we, as Trump supporters, do not need Paul Ryan's vote. We do not need John McCain's vote. I'm so for term limits, Ronald. I'm so for that. And as is Trump. And here's the other thing. Everyone keeps talking about, oh, but you need them to cooperate. We need them to cooperate when Trump is in office. Otherwise, he'll never get anything done. You guys have not had a government operating correctly through the branches of government for so long. Nobody knows how this job works. Because Obama didn't come and negotiate with Congress, okay? Obama did not come down and talk with Congress and negotiate as presidents do. Obama sat up there with his pen and his phone and just issued executive orders whenever he didn't agree with Congress. Now, Bush wasn't all that much better, to be fair, but he was in fact better than Obama with negotiating with Congress. But there is an art to negotiating with Congress. And you know who's really good at negotiating? You know who wrote The Art of the Deal? Trump. Oh, so he won't be able to negotiate with Congress. Duh. And frankly, not having that leverage that they didn't support him gives him leverage over them when he's president. Do you see how that works? So no, we don't need to kiss any establishment GOP ass for the next 28 days to win this election. In fact, might do a better job to speak out directly at the failure of their leadership, because that's what the voters are mad about. The voters are mad about the failure of leadership in both parties. So I think Trump's strategy to go after GOP turncoats, very sound. And I respect him entirely for doing so. So, let's talk a little bit. I mentioned that the LA Times poll still has Trump up, as does the Rasmussen poll. We're going to get new polls out soon. After the skew polls have worn out, we're going to get new polls. We're going to have a chance to take a look at that. Let's do some question and answer, and then we'll do the rallies and my Trump reason of the day. So, if there's anything I haven't mentioned or haven't talked about, I know there's been a lot of stuff that actually went on that if you guys want to bring up, we will discuss at this moment. So, how's Florida doing on the polls? Good. I checked the Florida polls just today. Depending on the polls, there are several polls that still has Trump doing very well. The average has Hillary up by 1.8 or 2, 0.5, very low, same as Ohio. Pennsylvania poll, they've skewed a little bit more. Florida still very closely in the margin of error, and I think being falsely skewed, because if you start looking at early voting and all sorts of things, Trump is doing very, very well there. Now, Trump has several rallies in Florida. He's been in Florida all this week. Additionally, what was I going to say about Florida? What the news has been saying is that, oh, there's been so many requests for absentee ballots from the Democrats. Yeah, there is. I bet, because that's one of their favorite games in election fraud is absentee ballots all day long. So I don't know that necessarily demonstrates a Democratic swell in Florida when, in fact, early voting shows Trump up significantly over Hillary Clinton in early voting so far. So that's the state of the race in Florida. Al Gore was campaigning with Hillary Clinton in Florida, which I found pretty interesting because Al Gore lost Florida. So, hashtag loser rally. No problem. No, we got to stay informed. Gore might be the most pathetic politician that has ever been involved in this campaign. Yes. It's an inconvenient truth of his that he sucks, but it's nonetheless very true. And I don't think it's going to help Hillary at all. Nobody who's going to come out and vote is all that excited to come out and vote for Al. Ooh, Al Gore said to vote for Hillary. That's going to change my mind. No. Al Gore, who unfortunately pinned his whole career on the skewed science of climate change and made a bunch of predictions about the polar cap melting and there being no polar bears and all the beachfront property being gone. Except he bought a bunch of beachfront property. We have more polar bears and the ice caps are growing. So, maybe that's why Al Gore didn't win, because he's not really bright at predicting things. But he did invent that internet, right? Yes, he did sound... this is why I don't know why you bring Al Gore. Hillary Clinton does not have a good speaking voice, okay? She doesn't speak good. She doesn't have a good speaking meter. She doesn't sound friendly or warm. She sounds like she's talking to you like this all the time. And Al Gore, he's worse. He sounds like he's talking to you like this all the time. So why would you bring two people who speak horribly to speak at the same rally? That is the only thing she's good at. Hillary Clinton is great at corruption. Her main achievement has been avoiding prosecution for crimes for decades. That's the main thing she's good at. And here's what's disgusting. You might have lefty friends on your feed who actually have made this argument. Well, yes, she's crooked and she's a criminal, but she doesn't get caught, so she must be good at it. This is the left. We'll get Florida, Leo. Don't worry. Don't worry about Florida. First off, things you have to remember about Florida. Florida is Trump territory. It's like Trump's second home, okay? Huge Trump town, okay? We've got Rick Scott. Marco's doing very well. All of the polls show the Republicans doing very well. We're doing very well in Florida. Oh, we'll talk about the Russian issue in a second. So the polls that they're talking about for Hillary are only a fraction of the picture. And if we're doing very well in every other aspect in Florida, you have to wonder to yourself, why do the polls reflect something different? I have every suspicion that we are going to do very well in Florida, and we'll see that on Election Day. Now, this Russian situation, you guys, oh my gosh. They are desperate to convince us that, yes, exactly. Leo says he's confident they're only 2 points behind in Florida, but they're liberal polls. Exactly. And it's really key to look at who's putting out the poll, how many people they're using, are they registered voters or likely voters? How did they divide the Democrats? What are they doing with the independents? All of these things are very important. If you don't know what those are, you don't really know what they did with the polls. And they have been so dishonest with this year with the polls that without that information, the poll is basically just letters and numbers. Garbledygook. Garbledygook is what it is. Now, we'll talk about the Russian issue because who do the Democrats want to try to convince us that Donald Trump and the Russians are in league to skew the election in favor of Donald Trump? Considering that Hillary Clinton actually has real involvement with the Russians and has had involvements as Secretary of State in negotiating away to Russian investors our uranium. Oh, hey, Deb. Sorry, I was a little bit late. You didn't get notified. I'm sorry that happened. Welcome. We're still here. So Hillary Clinton has far more ties in Russia and to the Russian system than love you too, Deb, than Donald Trump has at all in any way. But see, they're desperate to find an out so that they can come out on election day when they've lost and try to use the courts to change the election, use a bunch of falsehoods to change the election, all of this stuff. That's why they're setting up this Russian crap. So they can say, Russia tried to hurt our election so we can negate it. But they're not going to be able to negate a landslide. And that's what we have to do. We have to landslide this election. It's absolutely vital that we have to landslide this election. Now, here's the thing. We'll talk about this, Rob. If we did a no-fly zone in coordination with Russia, if we were actually working with Russia against ISIS, instead of working against Russia and Assad with ISIS, basically. I mean, we're basically helping ISIS in Syria and then fighting ISIS in Iraq. So it doesn't make any damn sense. If we were actually coordinating our efforts to fight ISIS with Russia, no-fly zone would be perfectly acceptable and we'd be perfectly fine. But unfortunately, we're not doing that, okay? We're playing some bizarre game with fighting Assad, but helping the rebels, but fighting ISIS, but the ISIS is the rebels. It goes on like this. It goes on. And then they want to ask Donald Trump about Aleppo and what will happen when Aleppo falls. What part's left standing? The real concern is what's going on with Turkey and how we can't really control Turkey, a NATO member, from engaging in conflicts with Russia. So frankly, we need somebody who doesn't just threaten Russia. We need somebody who actually talks to Russia. Okay? Do you remember when Obama was running for president and he was so willing to talk to Ahmadinejad? We're going to talk to the leader. We can talk to anybody. We can talk to anybody. And now, all of a sudden, Donald Trump says we should talk to the other nuclear superpower on the planet. Oh, Donald Trump is in league with Russia to take over the world. Stupid. Not talking to Russia is what lets things like Crimea happen. Not talking to Russia is what lets things like South Ossetia happen. Because we're not talking with Russia, we can't put any leverage on Russia. We could have stopped Crimea with the right amount of leverage. If we had used our political and economic leverage with Russia, we wouldn't be having this situation. But we didn't do that. Yes, and of course, in 2012, the Democrats were very convinced Russia is nothing to worry about. They did the reset button, which didn't spell reset. It's spelled recharge or something. This is how bad we are with Russian relations. We can't hire a Russian translator for one word. This is Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton wants to be president, thinks she's more qualified to deal with Russia than Donald Trump, can't hire a translator for one word. Ridiculous. Yes, it's absolutely correct. The problem with Russia is that we have been weak for so long and they smell that weakness. And it's not just Russia. It's all of the Middle Eastern states. It's Saudi Arabia. Frankly, it's all of our rogue states, Iran, North Korea. They have the same problem. I don't know what that means. The same problem occurs over and over. We went around and let Obama go to apologize to everybody, have half-assed military policy that did not actually in any way accomplish the goals he was stating out, pushed back and forth about what those goals even were, and now the world is a little bit confused because America used to be strong and they used to be able to call America and say, hey, can you come help us out? And now America's like, I don't know. What can we do? Will there be boots on the ground? This is why we have so many problems in the world. A weak America leads to conflict around the globe. We all know this from playground rules, okay? You ever play King of the Mountain? Okay? When there's one tough kid, nobody wants to play King of the Mountain because the tough kid always wins. Right? When there's no tough kid, everybody plays King of the Mountain. Everybody can get a chance, and it gets really brutal, and a bunch of kids get shoved down, and somebody breaks their arm, and people get all scraped up. Because you don't have any leadership. Because you don't have an alpha. America is the alpha. We need to be the alpha again. What you want is a nice, calm, respectable alpha. An older brother who does his chores and does his work and is very responsible and is a good example. That's an alpha. So, Blakal, do you want to talk about something? Is there a question you want to have about that? You can ask that in a question form, and I mean, that's just kind of a comment, so you can't really talk about it. But if you have a question, I would be happy to answer that. Obama's attitude of submissiveness for America has led. Go ahead. I'll go ahead. Type it up. Has led to chaos and violence around the world. Yeah, I know. I know he's gonna troll them. I'm waiting for him to. I love when the trolls you make them actually try to ask a question and then they don't understand that you need to use a question word and then that little squiggly thing with the dot at the end. But it's fun to see if they're educated enough to know what that means. I mean, if he's gonna get paid to troll, we might as well make him work for it, right? Are you coming back? Are you coming back, Black? You aren't coming back? He has a question, but he didn't. See, he can type troll real fast, but he can't actually type questions real fast. He's looking up. Will Republicans in Congress fight for America? Okay, if Satan were voting, who would he vote for? Hillary Clinton. Satan? Satan would vote for Hillary Clinton. Because Satan doesn't like people. Likes greedy, lying power. Likes death and war and destruction, which is Hillary Clinton's forte. She's destroyed 3 Middle Eastern countries as Secretary of State. He likes liars. Thank you, Deb. He is the prince of lies and thus would vote for Hillary Clinton, the liar. So we've answered his question and now we blocked it because that's what we do here. But Ronald had asked, are the Republicans in Congress going to support America? No. No. Some will. Here's what we're going to find out. We're going to find the real divisions. We're going to find out who went to Washington to actually try to serve and hit the buzzsaw of globalists. And we're going to find out who are the globalists. In fact, it's one of the things I love about Trump, and we're going to talk about it in my Trump Reason. Donald Trump is sorting that shit out, you guys. Donald Trump is sorting out who are the globalists, who are the greedy, self-interested politicians, and who's here actually trying to help America and help the constituency that they were elected by. And we are finding out fast who that is. McCain has been a rhino since so long ago. So long ago. Ronald, that's a good question. How do you hold government responsible? And it has been one of the questions that plagued Americans, the American citizenry, desperately over the last 2 presidents. And I'm calling Bush out on this too. Because we sent Bush, only so effective. We started sending the Tea Party because we started wanting more and more accountability in Congress. We sent a bunch of Tea Party people. Okay? They got up there. They tried. The Republicans are like, we love the Tea Party because they helped us get Congress. And then as soon as they get up there, we hate you. We don't want to talk to you. You're ruining everything. You're the reason we can't get anything done. Blamed everything on the Tea Party. Yeah. So we've been sorting it out since then. We go through 2008. It gets worse. We send more. Worse happens. Then they claimed that the Tea Party died because they were so abused by the establishment in Washington and cuckolded, basically. Cock-blocked, if you want to call it that. Because they wouldn't play the globalist game. That's exactly what happened. And then, if that wasn't enough, you got to see how the Republicans once they had both the House and Senate, still continued to cave to Democratic leadership and Obama's wishes. Why? Globalism. So we've already begun to sort out, but nothing has sorted them out more effectively than never Trump. Because if you are a never Trumper, look at their record, 99 times out of 100, also a raging globalist. Also very friendly with the Democratic leadership. So it's one of the things I love about Donald Trump and his campaign is he is really drawing the lines. And we need those lines drawn because we need to find out who is really on our side as Americans and who is fighting for their donors and their global elite. Yep, there's going to be more terrorist attacks. There's going to be more terrorist attacks until we are look, there's going to be terrorist attacks. That's not my question. There's going to be terrorist attacks even once Donald Trump is elected. Let's just be honest, okay? Because we've invited and we've allowed a lot of terrorist individuals to come here, to be radicalized here, because if they were born here, and we are not controlling that. We're not investigating these mosques that are attached to terrorists frequently. I'm not saying investigate every mosque, but when you have a mosque that 2-3 terrorists come out of, that might be a place to begin investigating. I don't want either of those things. I don't want Hillary or Bernie. I think they're both global communists, okay? Now, the one thing that Bernie has that Hillary doesn't have is he's opposed to the TPP, and that's certainly an improvement. And he understands a few things about trade deals, but he's obsessed with killing the rich and redistributing wealth, which is communist. We can't have that. We can't have either of that. That's why they're both horrible choices. Bernie, I think, at least had some integrity because he didn't steal his own election from Hillary Clinton, which he should have tried to do because she stole it blatantly out of his hands. He was winning. That's an interesting question. Islam itself was not banned. That's actually a falsehood. It wasn't banned. There were some laws passed that allowed us to make decisions such as controlling immigration from certain countries. So that it was, the religion wasn't banned. But there were certainly laws passed that enable exactly what Trump is talking about, which is to prevent individuals from coming here who are coming from nations that don't support us. Now, here's what is very true that we included in that ban, but also in our constitutional reality. Sharia law is not constitutional. It is incompatible with the United States Constitution because it is a religious form of government. And our Constitution directly states that the government cannot establish a religion. Therefore, Sharia law is unconstitutional because our government cannot establish a religion. And Sharia law is a religious law. We specifically, I'll talk about it in a second, we specifically made the rule so that government could not be a religious state. So in fact, Sharia is completely and directly incompatible with the United States. And I believe that Donald Trump wants to talk about extreme vetting and doing some sorts of tests. I believe that this is where we do the test. Determine how Shariaist an individual is. And there's many ways you can ask, nice 10, 20, 50 questionnaire with many questions that sneak out all the biases and the lying. That's what science does. I studied this in college. Test formation, test creation, and measurement to science. We can easily find a test, develop a test that would determine to what extent an individual is a Shariaist. And they don't come in. If you do not support the U.S. Constitution as the law of the land, I don't think we should let you in our country. Pretty straightforward. Now, we wanted to talk a little bit about immigration. There is a lot of room for immigration. Thank you, Austin. Thank you, Deb. There's a lot of room for immigration in this country. There's a lot of room for legal immigration. We still have a lot of America to embrace. I don't think we're full up. But well, here's what we are. We're letting too many illegals come in and stay. And we have people on the wait list trying to come here legally 10, 15, 20 years. Now, what that means is that the people who work hard, who follow the rules, who have a reason to come here, who probably have skills to share with America, can't come. Exactly. But the illegals can come. Now, they come here illegally because they don't have money to afford the legal way. They don't have time. They don't have the education to go through the process. Whatever. Many of the times, the illegals who come here are criminals. When Trump says that, it's because it's a fact. If you're a criminal in your own country, you just come here. The drug cartels send criminals directly on purpose because they want gang members in the United States so that you don't have to trust the United States gangs. You can trust gang members from your own gang. So, now, no, that's actually not true. I love how we finally got a new troll who had something dumb to say. Okay, so let's talk about that. If you were a Native American, you came here illegally. Guess what? You don't know anything about Native American history. Which Native American? Which ones are you talking about? Are you talking about the Sioux? Are you talking about the Navajo? Because they both stole the land from the Native Americans that were here before. Are you familiar with the Anasazi? Anasizi? Go look them up. Because they were the Indians that had their land stolen from them from other Indians. What? So you mean the Native Americans weren't actually native? Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. So, now, if you want to talk about Europeans coming here many, many years ago, developing the land, you should actually start studying the history and the interaction. I paid attention in school, Ronald, and I read all the time. You should actually pay attention to some of the interactions with the Native Americans and these settlers that came here, because there were many interactions in which we worked with Native Americans. Many tribes of Native Americans actually fought with us against the British. Some were paid to fight against us. Some were paid to fight the French. It goes on. It really depends from tribe to tribe. So when you talk about Native Americans, you're kind of a bigot. Because who do you mean? They're not the same. They don't even look the same. They don't have the same genetics. They don't have the same background. Some came from South America. Some came from the North. Some came from the land bridge. Yeah. So when you're talking about we stole it from the Native Americans, stop grouping all Native Americans into one group, you bigot. Yeah, exactly. And what's unfortunate, Dad, because I have Native Americans in my family. I have 2 adopted Native Americans in my family, a Navajo and a Wallapai Indian Native American in my family. And what you will find if you go to the reservations, if you go to the places where the government is taking care of and the tribe owns their property, there's no development. It's very devastated as far as economy, jobs. The people are suffering. Now, in places on the reservation where they allow land ownership and development by individual citizens, much like we have in the United States, private property ownership, so important to freedom, you see growth, you see jobs, you see all of this stuff going on. Now, unfortunately, what the government has allowed is they've allowed Native Americans to have the business of casinos. So we have tons of problems on the reservation with alcoholism, gambling addiction, on and on and on. I don't even know what that means. On and on and on. Because we've allowed the Native Americans this one industry. Casinos. We don't allow them manufacturing. We don't allow them. So what kind of treaty did we even make? They're sovereign nations. No, he's not. We're just going to send you away. Sovereign nations we claim that the Native Americans are sovereign nations. We send him away. We send him away. I can't argue with people all day about what lie. Here's the problem. Here's the problem that they all have. Because they say, oh, Trump lies. And you say, how did he lie? And then they say something dumb that isn't a Trump lie at all. Some media spin. He grabbed a pussy. And you go, no, he didn't. He talked about it. And they go, and then they don't have anything to say and they call you a name. And then they go, fuck Trump. I got time. We've done that like 100 times. We've done that so many times, you guys. We only have 28 days. So, I will be at the polls. I will be an election judge here in Illinois. Sign up to be a poll watcher. If you can't sign up to be a poll watcher, just go sit in front of the polls and watch. Listen to talk to people. They can't stop you from doing that. That is so true. They listen to rap music. Y'all have heard the song ass, 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 ass. Miley Cyrus thinks that Donald Trump what demeans women? Objectifies women. Miley Cyrus. Rubber outfit, rubber finger. Miley Cyrus. So ridiculous, you guys. So ridiculous. While I'm on this topic, let's talk about Joy Behar, who the women of The View. Well, I'll answer that in a minute about Illinois. The women of The View apparently want to sex shame rape victims. Apparently, it's okay to rape women if you're a Democratic president and the women are supporting Trump. She had to apologize, actually. Why? Probably because she got so many calls. They got so many calls at the switchboard. The show's producers went, "Hey, honey, you do a show for women, and you just called a rape victim a tramp. You might want to fix this before we go on the air tomorrow." Joy Behar is very mean. She's not funny. She's never been funny. She thinks she's a comedian, and she only has insults. Absolutely, absolutely disturbing. Nobody watches that show. I don't watch it. The only reason I know what happened is because it comes up on the scroll. Because I can't watch the show. And I can't listen to Whoopi throw another little Black Lives Matter pity party. And they had one conservative girl, the skinniest one, poor little thing. One skinny little conservative girl to defend everybody. Did they hire someone like me who has a strong libertarian, center-right leaning position on The View? No, because The View is from the left. What they mean is The View from the left. That's the show. So stupid. Joy Behar needs to be ashamed of herself. I don't wish bad things on people very often, but Joy deserves it sometimes. Seriously. Why is Illinois so left? I wanted to bring that up. Oh, yeah, no. Rosie O'Donnell brings it all on herself. You know, every time they talk about Donald Trump, that might be true, Ronald. They don't want to have to argue with me. Every time they want to talk about Donald Trump says negative thing about women, he talks about, oh, but I said that about Rosie. Rosie brings it on herself. You do understand the things she says about Donald Trump to get into those fights. And she actually said she wanted to smear menstrual blood all over Trump supporters. Her own menstrual blood. Except she's had a hysterectomy, so she doesn't menstruate. So thank God for that. Otherwise, we'd all be... Yes, it's absolutely disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Absolutely, absolutely. Now, let me talk to you a little bit about why is Illinois so left-leaning. We're actually not as left-leaning as some of the East Coast states. We do manage to elect Republican governors, although I'm very disappointed with our Republican governor right now because Bruce Rauner has come out, never Trump. So now I got to call his office tomorrow because I already called Mark Kirk's office. I already called Paul Ryan's office today and explained to them I don't appreciate it as a constituent that they don't support the Republican nominee. So apparently I got to call Bruce Rauner as well. The southern part of the state is very rural. It's corn-based. It's farm-based. They vote very conservative. Yeah. The problem is that Springfield is lock solid owned by Mike Madigan. He has lorded over our state legislature like a king for decades. And we can't get rid of him because we can't get term limits, and we elected Bruce Rauner because he supported term limits, and he can't even get a budget passed. So, I mean, he might at least make it out of the governor's office without getting arrested and put in jail, because we have arrested 6 of the last 8 Republican governors, or governors of all types, Democrat or Republican. We've put in jail 5 or 6 of the last 8 governors here in Illinois. Yeah, we got some corruption problems here. Now, we also have Chicago, which is a huge metropolis, larger than LA proper, because LA includes all of its suburbs. If we included all of our suburbs, we'd be competing with New York. New York would have to start wondering how big they are. So, LA cheats. But we are a huge metropolis. Thanks for listening. Tune in tomorrow. We do this 10:30, 10:45 every night. Sometimes I'm a little late because I got to eat, but every night. Except for Sunday. So, because of that, we have a huge amount of corruption, and the Democrats love that, and so they keep on owning Chicago. Now, the Democrats own also Springfield. So those two locksteps keep a very Democratic, corrupt, mafioso type base. Every now and then, the Republicans fight up and we get a Republican governor, but that's about as all it is. Yeah, Mike Royko's book is an excellent, excellent demonstration of what happens in Chicago politics. It was equally corrupt, but much more organized when Mayor Daley was here. Rahm Emanuel is just as corrupt, but he sucks. And he doesn't know how to manage road construction. He can't keep the streets plowed during the winter. The cops are completely unsupported. The teachers are he can barely prevent a teacher strike. So we have some problems here. And part of the problem is that now, since Obama left here, we're Obama country, so they have a lot more fingers from Washington in the thing. Let me just say, the African American, the black community in America is waking up. Have all of them? No. But Black Lives Matter is actually doing something really interesting No, he doesn't. That's the most ridiculous statement I've ever heard. I'm going to give you one more chance to not look like a complete moron for saying that, and we'll see, but then we'll go from there. Actually, there are huge amounts of African Americans supporting, see, you just said something more stupid, so we just send you away. Donald Trump does not hate black people, does not hate Mexicans. It's the stupidest thing anybody ever said. There are more African Americans openly supporting Trump than did Romney, than many other candidates, and frankly, than are supporting Hillary Clinton right now. Huge parts of the African American vote don't want Hillary Clinton. Louis Farrakhan, leader of the Nation of Islam, Black Nation of Islam here in America. Look it up. Do I look like I have a computer here? Do I look like, does this say Google right here? Does it? Look it up. So ridiculous. Well, give me proof. Woo! Poof. You have proof. You're on the computer. Go Google. Louis Farrakhan, speaking about Hillary Clinton, calls her a crook. You're an idiot. I can't. Anybody who tunes in to this show with a giant Trump flag, a show called Trump Talk, and tunes in and you see a woman talking in front of a giant Trump flag, if you ask, Google is totally corrupt, if you ask, are you a Trump supporter? You're an idiot. I'm going to send you away. Yeah, that's about that. It's about that dumb. Who's Trump? That's about that dumb. I agree, that we don't need to worry about, they want to tell us to be worried about the down ticket ballot. Don't worry. Let's get Trump in. You guys, we need Trump more than we need Congress, okay? Because the Democrats and the Republicans are the same. We didn't get anything done with the Democrats. We didn't get any of the Republicans. No, you're an idiot. You're an idiot, okay? You can go look it up. Google is completely corrupt. That is correct. You still got to learn how to use it, okay? Go understand Boolean logic and how to use search terms to find what you want. Sometimes you got to trick Google to giving it what you want. Try a different search word. Try a different search word. You got to trick Google because they're trying to feed you bad news all the time. Yeah, well, he actually wouldn't say that. He's a very gracious man. So, but we just go ahead and block those people. And you can go to Bing. I like Bing. I always check Bing. Yahoo is all right. Bing and Yahoo both seem to be less biased. If you just measure, if you just like go type Trump, click the news tab, Google, boom, 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 it's going to be hate, 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 hate. He doesn't. That's the most ridiculous question in the world. How is that? I'll block you because I don't need you to listen to my stupid answer. How does the left say that? Donald Trump talks about pussy and he hates women. Marries beautiful women, runs a beauty camp, runs a beauty pageant, all around women all the time, but he hates women. You all gotta pick it. You pick one or the other. Either Donald Trump is a fascist or he's a communist. You gotta pick one or the other. He's either X or Z. Every time, there's constantly Donald Trump wants to do this and he wants to do this, and they're totally opposite. So, absolutely ridiculous. Let's talk about rallies while we figure out what Jamie's doing. No one wants to blame the women for throwing themselves at him. Well, and this is the thing, okay? I don't care if women throw themselves at him, and I don't care if Donald Trump flirts with women. It's fine. Yes, it's exactly that. It's a two-way street. At any moment, and frankly, the leaked tape demonstrates that. If you listened to Donald Trump on the tape, the first part of the tape is him explaining he was hitting on this woman really hard. Couldn't get her. She was married. Stayed loyal to her husband. Couldn't get her. Everyone's freaked out. He hits on married women. Whatever. So stupid. But he couldn't get her. The first part of the story is him admitting he can't get a woman. Donald Trump. He's pimpy and grabs pussies. You guys are idiots. It's absolutely idiots. Money attracts crazy women. I will say that for a fact. Now, crazy men too, but other people's money attracts some crazy women. Bill rapes married women. That's correct. Bill has raped married women more than once. Raped them. And y'all saw the video where, did I vote when? Y'all saw the video. I always vote. I vote in every single election. Y'all saw the video, and if you haven't, you should look it up. It's out there, of Bill Clinton on the plane. The camera was on before they did the interview, and he's grabbing the crotch of the stewardess, who then kind of like has to awkwardly make him stop. But we're worried about Trump because he said something to Billy Bush on a bus. Yeah, look at it. It's just absolutely ridiculous. You know, Ronald, there's so many ways that we need to reinforce law and order. And frankly, I think one of the best things about Donald Trump, no Mike Pence, that they weren't. Mike Pence has 3 rallies. I had a rally today, had 2 more rallies coming up. He didn't go to Paul Ryan's event because he knew Paul Ryan was throwing him under the bus. So, Mike Pence is 100% and has been the entire time behind Trump. Despite CNN's a little attempt to try to convince people that Mike Pence is dropping out. Which at no point did Mike Pence even think of dropping out. Stop believing CNN. Let's talk about rallies, you guys. Yes, up is down and down is up. And the hypocrisy has exploded. And Donald Trump is revealing that all. And we are now responsible as his street team, as his ground game, to get the word out on social media and to make sure we get the vote out. So we're going to talk about that in just a second. Let's do rallies. Donald Trump will be speaking tomorrow in Ocala, Florida at noon. Lakeland, Florida at 3 p.m. He will be speaking on Thursday at West Palm Beach at noon and in Cincinnati, Ohio at 7:30 p.m. On Friday, he will be in Greensboro, North Carolina at 2 p.m. and Charlotte, North Carolina at 7 p.m. On Saturday, he will be in Portsmouth, New Hampshire at noon and in Bangor, Maine at 3 p.m. Now, that's 4 days, 8 rallies, 2 rallies a day. That's our Trumpy. He's busting his hump. I don't vote straight ticket. I actually have to look at the local races because sometimes there is a candidate that's running off ticket or in third party that is actually better in local government. And so I don't vote straight ticket. I actually try to do the research and figure out what, I don't even know what that is. You obviously started, you demean yourself. I don't know what that means. Who's you and in what way? Speak in full sentences, people. It's not hard. You have all the time in the world. I'm the one talking and looking at the camera. I have never written in. I think that, not that I oppose that, Ronald. Not that I oppose writing in. I just think Skank Hunt 42 thinks I'm stupid. Wait. Skank Hunt 42 wanted me to know I'm stupid. Bye, Skank Hunt. You know what? Stupid, calling yourself Skank Hunt. Okay? Because even if what you are looking for is skanks, that doesn't say anything good about you. Nobody wants to get involved with something that's been in skanks. Well, I have about 122 reasons what makes me vote for Trump, but I want jobs, I want national security back, I believe in the Constitution, and I want judges that support the Constitution and not a political agenda. Hillary Clinton told us in the debate she is picking justices based on fulfilling her agenda, not the Constitution. Donald Trump wants to pick justices who will honor and respect the Constitution. Huge difference. Humongous difference. Okay? I'm sick of all the lobbying money in Washington. Donald Trump is going to stop that. I believe in school choice. Donald Trump is going to make that happen. I believe in the Second Amendment with all of my heart. And Hillary Clinton, in WikiLeaks recently, has claimed she will try to take our guns. Real J, do you believe in the Second Amendment? Let's ask him. Do you believe in the Second Amendment? Okay, well then you need to make sure you don't vote for Hillary Clinton. Because guns will be taken away from you. Hillary Clinton has stated in these speeches, in her Wall Street speeches, that she will take away your guns. So you don't really want your guns, Jay, is what you're saying. You don't want to defend them. You just kind of want to let it happen. Oh, well, whatever happened. Well, luckily, we're going to vote for you. We're going to vote for the one candidate who actually will protect the Second Amendment, so you'll be able to defend yourself. And you're welcome. You could participate with us. You could go ahead and watch a few speeches. I've given you a whole list of speeches here. You can watch them on rsbn.tv, Right Side Broadcasting Network.tv, rsbn.tv, and watch Donald Trump speak. Yeah, Jay, everyone's trying to tell you this. Watch him speak. Maybe you don't like him, but listen to him. Listen to what the man says. And don't listen to what the media says in snippets. Listen to a whole speech. Listen to one or two. You're going to get the message. And you're going to find out what the media isn't telling you. Well, no, actually, Jay, you kind of do need politicians to not take your rights away. I understand that you feel that you can defend your rights. And that is the point of the Second Amendment, to be able to defend your rights. However, you also live in a country where there is the rule of law, okay? Now, if you allow politicians to be elected that use that rule of law against you to destroy those rights and use the power of force to come and take your guns away, really you're just putting yourself in a Ruby Ridge situation. Do you remember Ruby Ridge? Look it up if you don't remember it. Basically, what you're saying is, I don't bother to protect my rights through the ballot box because if they come and try to take my rights, I'll just get in a gun battle with them. It's not the rule of law. It just isn't. So. I lost track of the conversation. Even like Joe, the press has been so ridiculous that, even if you don't like Trump, just being able to, there's no reason to fix my teeth. They're totally fine. Even if you don't like Trump, just being able to see that the media has completely attacked him, the establishment has attacked him, the Democrats, everybody has attacked him, doesn't that tell you the people who are stealing your money, okay, who are taking your rights, thank you, Deb, they don't want Trump. The people who are feeding the Wall Street bankers, all of this, they don't want Trump. What do you mean bring jobs back? Do you understand corporate inversion? Do you understand jobs are leaving the United States? Do you understand they are going overseas because the tax rates, and it is cheaper to operate your business overseas with the lower regulation and lower tax rates? Do you understand that? Scotland, Ireland, China, Mexico, India, all over. Are you aware? Yes. There are also millions of people here. We're going to give you two more chances to not be a moron because I want to talk with you about it. But let's think through this, okay? There are also millions of jobs leaving and have left. I really feel sad for some of the youth who feel that politics is stupid and they don't want to participate. We formed a country that allows government by, for, and of the people. And we have a generation who thinks that's stupid. Okay, bye. See, we try to do you see how we try to get him to have a conversation? And then when we start asking him actual questions, he's like, you guys are stupid. Trump supporters are stupid. We tried, Deb. We tried. We gave him every opportunity to have a normal conversation. That's all we can do. Is try to have a normal conversation. Wow. We should actually record that because, yes, many people overseas have never been overseas. So let's do my Trump reason. Oh, Mike is going to be, I didn't do this. Mike is going to be on Wednesday tomorrow, Salem, Virginia, 2:30, and Raleigh, North Carolina, 6 p.m. Mike, who's leaving the ticket. Idiots. So bad. Trump reason, my Trump reason of the day, you guys. Donald Trump is outing the global elitist. Oh, yeah, well, let's just take that away. Because, oh, all right, Logan. All right. Oh, Logan, all right. I'll unblock you if I find you. I'll go back. You gotta be careful making jokes. If you make the really dumb jokes, sometimes I'm like, no. And then I'm like, oh, that was a joke. Sorry. I will not be in the Vegas for the debate. Debate is on the 19th. I will be watching it from here in Chicago because I have a business to run. So I got to stay here and make sure I keep making money so we can keep eating and I can keep having power to pay for this phone so I can keep doing this show. So what is wrong with people? I will. I swear, white people are dumb. Please block me. What color are you? Because that was pretty dumb. If from your sentence, I'm assuming white. I wish you were Democrat or dead. You know, I always thought if I was dead, then I could vote many times. Could vote dozens of times. So my Trump reason of the day, Donald Trump is calling out the global elite. He's not just calling them out. He's outing them. They're showing themselves. We are finally getting a chance to see which politicians are on the side of America and which politicians are on the side of the almighty dollar. And you know who's allowing that to be possible? One Donald J. Trump. And we need to send him to the White House so he can keep outing that. So he can help us sort through Congress. Because what do we do? Yes, Congress is going to be a huge pain in the ass. They're going to fight Trump all the way. We have a bunch of never Trumpers, dumb asses in there. We're going to fight them all the way. Fight. Trump's going to be able to negotiate. We're going to be fine. But what is going to be demonstrated is who we need to vote out in subsequent elections. So it is most important we, the people, take the top office back and then try to get through Congress. We tried to do it the other way, you guys. The Tea Party tried to do it the other way. We tried to take Congress and the Senate. We had huge success. And then they crushed us and blamed us for everything. Yes, it would be great to see an unbiased investigation into Hillary, and the only way that's ever going to happen is if we elect Donald Trump. So, let's do Trump hotties because my battery just went beep, 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 and I'm only going to have a few more minutes, and then it's going to, after Yeah, and Trump talk is going to go on. As long as there's Trump, there's going to be more Trump to talk about. So, let's get over here. This guy is the crazy guy's talking. But, adorable hottie. She's got freckles. This is what I love most. Her lipstick perfectly matches her Make America Great Again hat. Let's just look at it. Okay, so there's the hat. There's the lipstick. What? Super cute. So I can get a better look of her eyes. Oh, look. See, that's better. Yeah, she's adorable. And she just looks so clean cut and fun. And she's just smiling. You know why she's smiling? Because she knows that by the time she gets out of college, there's going to be jobs again because we're going to make America great again. It's so, so important. So, I like to show everybody this. What the battery does. It's one of my favorite things right now. Love of America trumps the hate of the left. Keep it up. All right, Canada. Well, good luck. Good luck with Trudeau or whatever. He's kind of screwing you too. So, it's going well for you. You can follow me at Trumpetarian at Twitter. You can email the show, TrumpTalkUS@gmail.com. Thank you, Ronald. You can find the back episodes, www.TrumpTalkUS. I'm catching up on those because every time Periscope freezes, it takes me another half an hour to remix the video. So, no, not you. You. There we go. Bye-bye, Felicia's. I have no problem with atheism. I was raised Christian, but I do not practice actively any Christian faith at this point. I actually study many different religions. I love the study of religions. Jainism, Buddhism, Hinduism. I've studied every religion on the planet and have all of their books. So, no, I think, Cordova, I think actually the Republican Party, they're going to have, we have 5%, so I got to do this quick. Actually, what we're going to find out is that the Republican Party is going to be divided. There's going to be two new parties, is what I really believe. I genuinely believe that what we consider the Republican Party now is going to die. And what we consider the Democratic Party now is going to die. And it's, I'm happy to be deplorable. We're going to see a whole new world. So it's going to be a fascinating thing. Let's do this because literally the battery is going to die on you guys. And I hate when little Trumpy doesn't get to say goodbye. So, everybody, we'll be back again tomorrow. Keep your eye on the news. Share the Herman Cain strategy. As you know, the left is going to try to falsely accuse Donald Trump of a sexual attack without time to disprove it. It's going to be false. Share the WikiLeaks. Get out there and make sure you make your phone tree and call all of your Trump friends on election day to make sure they vote. It's our job to make America great again. Trump needs our help. Love all my friends. We're going to see you again tomorrow. Have a good night.